address the 51st state discourse, which I find unsettling and frankly insulting. Canada is a strong, independent nation that's deep-rooted in decency, really. And it's a place that values high ethics and respect, unlike the polarized, disrespectful, and often now hate-fueled climate that's in the U.S. And look, Canada values a lot of fairness and unity. It's a place that I've learned as the national team coach where people really believe that their differences make them stronger. And honestly, it's one of the things that I've enjoyed the most about our team is that they exemplify this as human beings and as a team. And look, they're almost all first and second generation Canadians coming from different heritage and cultures, but they uniquely are incredibly proud to be Canadian, to represent their country, to give everything to each other, and the love that they have for each other and playing for their country. And to me, this sounds very familiar to years past, right? So for me right now, I couldn't be prouder to be the Canadian national team coach, and I found a place where that embodies for me the ideals and morals of what not just football and a team is, but what life is. And that's integrity, respect, and the belief that good people can do great things together. And so if I have one message to our president, it's lay off the ridiculous rhetoric about Canada being the 51st state. As an American, I'm ashamed, right, of the arrogance and disregard that we've shown one of our historically oldest, strongest, and most loyal allies.
Hey everybody, I am in Canada right now, in the Maritimes. And you know what's the greatest thing about that? Many things. It's very beautiful here. Beautiful ocean, as you can see, beautiful skies, you can see, trees, just absolutely gorgeous. But the craziest thing about being in Canada is that the second I crossed that border with my child, my kid and I became exponentially more free than we had been when we were still in the United States. We are free to say what we want, criticize the government the way we want. We can read whatever books we want. We're free of the fear of ICE. We're free of the fear of our communities being terrorized. We're guaranteed due process. That is a freedom that we don't have in our home country. As someone who identifies as female, I am free to do what I want with my body, as is my kid. We are free from the fear of getting mown down by someone with an assault rifle. We are free from having a government that is surveilling us and taking our data, and a government that won't protect us. We are free from all of that because we are not in the United States. And if you're someone who supports Donald Trump, I just have to ask you how you are okay with a president who is slowly but surely taking all of our freedoms away. You shouldn't have to leave your own country to feel free. But that is what it is like right now. I look forward to someday being able to go home, cross that border back into the United States and say, hey, it's a free country, and mean it. But right now, I can say that here, but not there. So I'm going to enjoy my vacation. Gorgeous, isn't it?
So Canada is doing pretty good in light of the American aggression over the last couple of years. Our deficit is now reduced from $72 billion to $66 billion. That's no mean feat in such a short space of time. And a lot of that, of course, has been driven by oil and LNG contracts. And I think it's notable to say that a lot of that is being driven by new oil and LNG contracts. The Canadian government has been very successful at promoting Canada as a resource-driven country, and we are rebounding. Now, obviously, we've got a long way to go, and still, whilst Trump is in the White House, we fight against a wave. Yet, Canadians are very resilient. Canadians are very intelligent. Canadians are very resourceful and smart. And in light of all the aggression that's coming from the Trump administration, Canada is actually doing pretty good when you consider everything that's against us. And I think that we will continue to do pretty good. And we will continue to grow and expand. And most notably, the world is seeing Canada as a new leader for North America. And I think that's very, very important.
So there is something Canadians do that I love so much, and I appreciate it a lot. The other day I went to a government office to submit a form, and someone opened the door for me. I was surprised because it's not like I haven't seen people being nice to me in my home country, but it seems to be cultural here. You know, people open doors for you. I'm like, okay. And it's not common. It's not common where I come from. People do nice things in other ways, you know, right? But that's super nice. You don't know the person. Maybe usually if the person is coming out first before you, the person opens the door, right? And I've come to also do that thing for someone as well, right? Just open the door. It's not common where I come from. People have other ways of showing kindness, you know. But this, I love it. I love it. It's really nice. And I don't know about people that live in bigger cities, if it's that way, but it seems to be a thing here, and that's really beautiful. I love it. So if you're watching this and you do that, I'm just saying kudos, and please don't stop. Okay? Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you find us. So this is the place where we explore the stories, the moments, and the conversations that make us look at the world a little bit different. And today, we're turning our attention to Canada. But I'm not going to tell you everything just yet, because sometimes the best way to understand something isn't by hearing someone explain it, but it's by seeing it for yourself. So folks, I've put together a few moments that I think say more than words ever could. Watch the following clips closely, and after you've seen them, we'll come back and talk about what they reveal about Canada and why it's something you might not fully appreciate until you experience it by yourself. So first, let's get after it.
Where did you come from? Nigeria. And do you work here? What do you do? Daycare. Nice. Meet these two gentlemen.
Nice to meet you, Peter. Congratulations. If I could present you that nice pen. That's really good. Okay.
This one's sturdier, it's like plastic.
It's beautiful. You know, I think I've been in Canada too long that I became Canadian a little bit. You know, Canada has the nicest people in the world, you know that? They say hi to strangers. You know, they apologize when they're walking on the wrong walkway. Very nice people, you know, really nice people. So I think, yeah, I have the same disease, I guess. It's beautiful, by the way. You guys are beautiful people. You're very nice to strangers. Apologize even when you're not wrong. Yeah, I'm becoming like that. I'm smiling. I'm saying hi. Like, you go, Fifi.
I didn't grow up under maple trees. I didn't learn the anthem in school. I arrived with a suitcase full of dreams and a heart wide open to a new beginning. Canada didn't just give me a place to live. It gave me space to become, to rediscover my voice, to plant new roots in kindness, and grow into someone even I hadn't yet imagined. Here I learned that identity is not a single flag or hometown. It's the courage to belong without erasing your story. It's the warmth of strangers who become family. It's the quiet power of a country that listens more than it speaks. So today I celebrate with immense gratitude for the land, the people, the freedom to be myself, for the red and white threads now stitched into my spirit, for a nation that embraced me and invited me to thrive. Happy Canada Day to all who call this land home, by birth, by choice, by love, or by hope.
If you are a queer refugee living in Canada, you might find this video helpful because Canada Day can feel a bit complicated. Because for so many of us, Canada gave us something we couldn't find back home: safety. It gave us a place where we could finally breathe, a place where we could exist as ourselves without constantly looking over our shoulder. And for many of us queer refugees, Canada was not just a country. Canada was the first place where we could live openly. So of course, we have a lot of gratitude. But the gratitude that we have for this country can never and should never erase history. And the safety that a lot of us found here exists on lands that Indigenous peoples have cared for since time immemorial. And we cannot ignore the violence, displacement, and harm that the Indigenous communities still face every single day. And those two truths don't cancel each other out. You can deeply be thankful for the life you've built here and still stand in solidarity with Indigenous communities. You can definitely celebrate your freedom without celebrating colonization. You can love the life you've created for yourself here in Canada while also listen to the people whose land made this life possible for you. And holding both truths doesn't make your gratitude smaller. It makes it more honest. And maybe that's what Canada Day can look like for a lot of us queer refugees. Not blind celebration, not guilt, but gratitude with accountability and hope rooted in solidarity.
Okay, so I'm French, but I've been living in Canada for about 10 years, and here are the 5 things that Canada does not get nearly enough hype about. So interestingly enough, I grew up knowing virtually nothing about Canada, and if it weren't for my guidance counselor in high school being Canadian, I probably wouldn't even live here. And something that I've realized is when I go home and talk about Canada, people are just like so unaware and oblivious about what this country has to offer. So this is my due diligence to promote Canada and all of its amazing things. Okay, the first one is Bulk Barn. I feel that even Canadians don't talk about Bulk Barn enough. I remember moving here and thinking that it was the most glorious thing I had ever seen in my life. Okay, the second one is just Canadians. Now, this one is very much spoken of, but I feel like it's more in a stereotypical way, and people don't know how real the stereotype actually is. Canadians are the most kind, apologetic, helpful people ever. And I come from France. We're the opposite of that. So moving here, I was struck with such like a wave of kindness and felt so accepted by Canadians. It just honestly still makes my day 10 years later. The third thing is cottage culture. Now, cottage culture took me 9.5 years to understand. I used to remember thinking like, why do people just have random houses on lakes so far away from everything? I get it. I have no further explanation because you need to live cottage culture to get it, but that's my third. Okay, number 4 is the Canadian Rockies. I took a trip to the Canadian Rockies about 4 years ago. I went all the way from Alberta to Vancouver Island, and it was one of the most stunning, like breathtaking trips I've ever taken in my life. And people don't decide to travel from Europe or even from Asia to the Canadian Rockies. I feel like they always prioritize the American West Coast, but I feel like it's such a mistake. And like we could argue whether bringing more tourism to those areas is a good thing or not, and like that's a whole other video. But I still think that people just don't hype it up enough. It blows my mind. This one might be very controversial and it might be a bit of recency bias, but I would say the political state of Canada is actually something that people don't hype up enough. And what I mean by that is in today's world, I mean, it depends where you lean politically, but in today's world where our southern neighbors have a very complex political situation. I come from France. The political situation in France is an absolute nightmare right now. Anyways, you could compare it to a lot of different countries, but I find that for the most part, again, this could be very controversial, but in comparison to a lot of the other countries where I've lived, the political state of Canada is quite unproblematic. I mean, I say that I've only lived here for 10 years, so I've only seen like one party for the most part lead the country. But yeah, I would say it's rather unproblematic.
So, Canada is one of the best countries in the world. Aside from, you see where I'm coming from, aside from the support that they give you. Oh my God, these people are so sweet, so lovely. My trolley, like I said before, mistakenly hit another person's car. Truly, it didn't leave like any serious dent or anything. But even before this lady checked it to see that it did not leave any dent, she was already like, oh, it's just a trolley, don't worry, don't worry. Before she now came around and said, oh, no dent, don't worry, don't worry. Anyway, aside that, good life, support, like, talk about it. Talk about it. Hey, okay now guys. Oops. This rain have dealt with me today.
Is it because of this? Did you know? Did you know that I'm a Canadian citizen? Does it come across on this screen? Hey, does it? Back bacon and beer, eh? There she is. There's the girl herself. Yeah, we came back from Canada years ago. I spent my teenage years in Canada. My dad got all our Canadian citizenships. My brother was born in Canada. Simon, he still lives there. He's married to Tracy and has Ruben and Sophia in Saskatoon. But yeah, we lived in Ontario. We lived up in Elliott Lake, which is way up north. And then we lived down in Barrie, which is just outside Toronto, as you will all know. And yeah, so there we go. We are kindred spirits. Maybe that's why you love me, but I love you too. You guys in Canada tend to be a bit more polite than us. Your sense of humour would be slightly different, but aren't we all really just the same? Just with different accents? Really, aren't we? I love this. I love this about TikTok, that we can all do this together. Thanks for joining me.
Now, folks, I don't know about you, but watching those moments makes you think so much. Because when you look at Canada from the outside, it's easy to focus on the obvious things. The incredible landscapes, the beautiful cities, the snow-covered mountains, the lakes that look almost unreal. But there is another side of Canada that doesn't always make it into the photograph. It's something you notice in the little moments. I mean, the way people interact, the way communities come together, the way some people can make another person feel welcome without needing a big speech or a grand gesture. And maybe that's what makes Canada so interesting. You don't always see it immediately. You experience it, and once you do it, you start noticing things you might have overlooked before. You start realizing that Canada's real strength may not be something you can measure. It may not be something you can put on a map. It might simply be the feeling that comes from knowing there's still room for people to be different, to be themselves, and to find their place. And honestly, that's something worth celebrating. Because Canada isn't perfect. We all know that. No country is very perfect. But there's something powerful about a country that can leave people with a feeling that stays with them long after they've left. Maybe, just maybe, that's the real Canadian flex. Not something you can buy with your money. Not something you can fake, or rather pretend. Something you have to experience. And that's what I wanted you to see today. Sometimes the most powerful things aren't the loudest. They're hidden in the moments we almost overlook. And maybe that's why Canada continues to leave such a strong impression on so many people. You can see Canada in the mountains. You can see it in the cities, and perhaps you truly understand Canada when you experience it, when you experience the people and the moments in between. So, what do you notice in those clips? Let me know in the comment section for today. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and join us for the next one. Until then, take care folks, and much love to everyone watching from Canada and around the world. We'll meet again in the next episode. Thanks for watching.